Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tip Tuesday. So, today I'm talking a little bit about this transition that we're in to spring. And it's kind of this awkward time where we are, experiencing uh, winter still. It's cold, it can be a little bit damp, and at the same time we see that the flowers are starting to come out. For those of you that suffer from seasonal allergies, you may be starting to feel those coming through, and so we're kind of in this awkward transition time. Today is the 1st of March, and I think March really signifies a turning point for most people in terms of, um, how they're feeling and getting out of maybe those winter blues and moving into the light and the excitement of spring. So, one of the most common things that I see as symptoms that show up for health in the spring are seasonal allergies. And I see so many people who are, um, you know, always on things like Benadryl and Claritin and basically spend like 4 or 5 months of the year uh, taking these medications. And so, what I want to do is talk to you today a little bit about my 5 top tips for managing seasonal allergies naturally. And in this sort of awkward transition time from winter to spring, now is really the time when we want to start working on building our immune system and building up that capacity, getting used to the pollens that are out there, so that we can better adapt when it really starts to hit us. Here in Victoria, it's been raining a lot, and I think that's actually sheltered us quite a bit from the early pollens, because it is like a clearing process. It washes away anything that's kind of settling in the air for right now. But we know that we won't be experiencing rain every day going forward, and hopefully not. And so we want to start managing our seasonal allergies now. So if that's not been on your radar, if you wait until you get symptomatic with the dry eyes and the runny nose and the scratchy throat, too late. That is too late. We need to start working on it now, priming our immune system. So let's get into the top 5 tips. Some of these may seem familiar for you, and some of them may not. Um, yeah, so especially for people who are refusing to take things like Claritin or Benadryl, or the people who rely exclusively on them, let's get going on these. Okay, the first is a nasal rinse. So you can buy things like this at the pharmacy. This is a nasal rinse. It comes with little packets of saline that you put in. You can also use a neti pot if you're familiar with that. Or a nasal lavage. And essentially, what this is doing is helping to clear out your nasal cavities, your sinuses, because pollens stick to the mucosal membranes of our sinuses, and then we create allergic responses to them. So the more that we can keep them moving up and out, the better it's going to be. So for people who suffer pretty badly from seasonal allergies, I recommend doing a nasal rinse twice a day, once in the morning, once in the evening. And you just want to make sure that you're washing your whatever you use for your nasal rinse really well, right? We don't want to have any bacteria building up in that. So you want to make sure that you are cleaning that really well. So warm saline solution. So usually when you buy these, it comes with that, or a baby amount of salt. A little burn is good, but too much is not okay. The second piece that's really important and I think often overlooked is managing stress. Now, when we are stressed, we know that it causes our immune systems to go haywire. And we see that in a few different ways. So, oftentimes, if we're experiencing higher amounts of stress, we may get sick more frequently. We may take longer to heal, but we may also start to see our body showing up, showing us symptoms of autoimmunity, and that could be things like joint pain. It could lead to things like Hashimoto's, which is the autoimmune version of hypothyroidism. So there's lots that can happen over time to our bodies and our immune systems when we are stressed. So if we're trying to prevent seasonal allergies, which are essentially our body's response, our immune response to pollens outside, we want to manage our stress, make sure that our stress levels are pretty even keel, or we're doing lots of things to help to support our general relaxation. Okay, so if you're not sure what that is, reach out to us and we have lots of tips and tools for you in terms of stress management, but it's actually really important in terms of our immune response and seasonal allergies. The third, which may seem weird, is starting with a teaspoon now, and actually now is even a little bit late, but it's still beneficial. A teaspoon of local honey every day. So you can lick it right off the spoon, you can put it in tea or whatever, but it needs to be honey that is from local bees, because local bees have our natural environment's pollens. And like if I live in Vancouver, Victoria, if I'm having honey from Vancouver, there's different pollens in the air. So we want the species of pollen that is in your area, and you want to start microdosing it to your body so that your body can start to manage it, and it's diluted enough in honey that it gives you just a little bit and your body starts to build a natural response to it. So start doing that right away. We have lots of great honey here in Victoria. So that good local honey is going to give you the best results. Okay. Number 4 is acupuncture. There's actually research showing that regular acupuncture can be supportive for seasonal allergy prevention and for symptoms, especially if you're someone who experiences a lot of sinus issues, the eye symptoms. Acupuncture can be really helpful at opening up those sinus pathways, helping to get things moving, supporting your immune system in a healthy response. So if you haven't tried acupuncture, again, feel free to reach out, and it can be really beneficial for helping to modulate your immune response. The last piece is natural supplementation. And I have what I call my seasonal allergy protocol. It is 4 different supplements that I find to be really beneficial. And I'll pop the link down below in the comments to how you can get your hands on this specific protocol. And I've tried lots of different combinations of things, but I have found this protocol to be the most effective. So we've got 4 supplements that we're working with here. The first is vitamin C. So this is the brand that I really like. It's called Pure Lab. This is a Canadian brand. So I love supporting Canadian brands that are high quality, third-party tested. They're also really affordable. So we know we can spend an arm and a leg on supplements, but this is actually a really affordable vitamin C. This comes as 1,000 milligrams, so 1 gram, and we would want to be taking 3 of these a day, but separate. Okay, so vitamin C helps to maximize your immune function. It helps to support good tissue repair. It supports the health of our mucosal membranes, so like through our nose and sinus cavities. So vitamin C is really, really important as an antioxidant and immune supporter. The next one is quercetin, and this is a brand called BioClinic Naturals, and here it's emic, so it's activated quercetin. Quercetin is an incredibly powerful antioxidant. There's been a lot of studies that show that it helps to dampen our histamine response, so our body's large response to small stimuli like pollens and allergens. So it helps to maintain the health of our mucosal membranes, and it also helps to decrease that histamine response. So when you hear about like Claritin, Benadryl, these are antihistamines. They're helping to also decrease that histamine response. So that's number 2, that's quercetin. The third is actually nettles. So if you're in Victoria, you know that nettles are very plentiful here. If you know how to make your own tincture of nettles, then that's great. This is a brand called St. Francis Herbs. They make wonderful, good quality tinctures, and this is the spring nettle top tincture, which is incredibly helpful as a general tonic. So it's really helpful to boost our body systems, including our immune system. And it does really help to decrease that histamine response. So again, this goes in water. It's an alcohol-based tincture, and a few drops in water twice a day is helpful. And my last one is called Allergies, and this is a homeopathic. It's this homeopathic company has been around for about 125 years. And essentially what Allergies is doing, it's you would take 2 tablets underneath your tongue. They dissolve like most homeopathics do, and it also helps to decrease that histamine response. So what I found over the years is that these 4 together create a really wonderful synergistic effect. And again, now is really the time to get started on that. So if you are someone who refuses to take medication for allergies, or you find yourself living on Benadryl and Claritin for Reactin for 4 months of the year, now is the time to start all of these practices. So again, just reviewing those top 5 tips. So number 1 is your nasal rinse. Number 2 is managing stress. Number 3 is a teaspoon of local honey once a day. Number 4 is looking at things like acupuncture. And number 5 is your supplement regimen. So again, I will put all of these in the comments, and I will pop the link to the supplement protocol as well. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to reach out. Spring is such a wonderful time of the year, and it's so unfortunate that so many of us struggle during this time because of our allergies. So there are things we can do about it. Now again is really the time to get started, and I would love to support you. So reach out if you have any questions at all, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for joining me on Tip Tuesday.